Hi.
Hey everybody, we are live.
Woo!
We are live back from conferences on the West Coast. Does this color look weird?
Do what?
Does this color look weird?
No, I think
No.
the color looks really good
Okay.
on your. Because you have the perfect phone.
Yeah. This afternoon,
Hi.
we're going to talk about networking.
Yay, networking.
Because your network is your net worth.
It is.
What do you have to say about that?
Oh, your network is your net worth.
And the reason we're talking about networking tonight is last week we were in San Diego and we were playing. We ran two conferences
Back to back.
for the utility industry, and one of the key takeaways was networking
From both of the conferences.
I'm gonna do something real quick.
Okay. Okay.
Here we go.
Thank you. Yeah.
Anyway,
more lighting.
Yeah, one of the key takeaways was networking and networking within your organization, networking in your industry, networking with colleagues and friends to get what you need in life, to get the things you want out of life.
Well, what I thought was interesting. So, first of all, we don't usually run conferences back. No, that's not true. We sort of now do run more conferences back to back. So it's like Monday and Tuesday we had one conference. Monday and Tuesday we had one. Wednesday and Thursday we had another conference. And what was interesting to me is that both of them, the feedback that we got throughout the course of each of those conferences was that the networking was so good.
Yes.
So it was really cool to really and this is all that we couldn't do when we had virtual conferences as much, right? Because it's virtual, but to be able to be there in person and have those side conversations and have those opportunities to just talk about your life and your kids and your family and your dreams and your goals. And that was really cool. So with that,
your network is your net worth.
Your network is your net worth.
So
that was something we talked about quite a bit at both of the events.
Yeah.
But we're going to break it down a little bit now and talk about what is networking.
Here we go.
Yeah, networking is the act of making connections and building relationships with others.
That's simple, right?
It really is.
Why is networking important? It creates opportunities. It brings you knowledge. It can be there to support you. It gives you visibility, and most probably important, it creates connections and allows you to lean on your connections to get what you need in life.
Absolutely. So, I mean, you can have the best product, you can have the best services, you can have the best company, but if you're not out there increasing your network and nurturing that network, no one's going to know, no one's going to care, no one's going to buy. And even if you're looking, if you're looking for a new job, gosh, I was doing networking when I first moved to the Philadelphia area as a new mom. There were so many services and resources that I needed to know about. So I was busy adding to my network as much as possible of other moms in the area so that I could ask them, like, hey, where do you go, for specialty markets? Who do you use for your pediatrician? I didn't have all of that set up when I first moved here, and I didn't have family here. So for me, building a network where I had moved was really important.
Yeah. Now I learned the value of networking very early on. Very fortunate in my career. I don't know if you call it networking back then, but it was building connections. There were two things that happened to me at the first company I worked at, and one was that I was at a trade show and we were networking at an event, and I met the people from DuPont. Now, DuPont is still a huge conglomerate of a corporation, an international corporation. And there was no way I would have been able to meet these people and talk to them and get a chance to have their business. So what happened was they work on a plant. And when you have an appointment with these people, they happened to be the maintenance guys. I had an appointment with them. I had to show up a half hour early, take a safety video. I had to learn fire evasion techniques. It was a very complex, very safe. I mean, DuPont makes some dangerous chemicals. It makes some dangerous products. But it led me to selling DuPont on the products I was selling, which was lubricating oils and hydraulic oils and stuff like that. And the crazy part was they made their own oils and hydraulics and stuff like that. But I showed them how it was more cost effective, and they actually liked me from networking and introducing them to other
Well, you
people.
seem like a nice guy.
Yeah, I'm okay. That was crazy.
No, I think that's really cool. I mean, in many cases, like I learned about networking really through my parents, and it was just my mother had a business as an interior designer. My dad had a business as a financial planner and doing executive benefits, and it was just that like they would actually like one of them would get a new client and then see if they'd sort of check in to see if the other person if they had business for them too, and not in a smarmy way, but in more of a like, hey, as we get to know people, there's more business to be had out there.
Yeah, you never know what you never know what your network is worth. So anyway,
it's true.
Here's some numbers. 85% of jobs are found through networking. And that's what they were talking about last week at the conference, at both the Change Conference and the Power Conference of Advanced Women. They were talking about getting career moves within their organization by knowing the different areas that we're looking for.
Yeah, definitely. And a lot of people talk too about the organizations that they belong to are very large, that they work for are very large. And for them, the opportunity just to meet other people within their own organization was really important, because it is like, it's who you know, right? It's who do I know who has the skill set? Oh, I met such and so at this community service event that we did as a group. So that's one of the ways that you can know people.
Yes.
25% of business professionals who network. What does that mean?
It means 25% of business is created through networking.
Okay.
Yeah, 25% of business is created through networking.
Very cool. I believe that.
$12.50 is the amount of return on each dollar spent on face-to-face meetings. That's a big number.
That's a huge number.
Yeah.
That's really cool. And then 38% are professionals who find it difficult to maintain business relationships. So, if you are, if you're not networking, if you're not finding that, I think of networking as like that connective tissue, right? It's like, it becomes a mesh. It's not just a one-to-one. So to be in a position where you're able to nurture your network, you can find out that a lot of people know a lot of people in common. So
I got another crazy networking story.
Oh, bring it. I love your story.
This is a good one. This one changed. This one was instrumental in my entrepreneurship.
Yes, it was.
I had a customer. I worked for this company that we had giveaways, and we had a budget on the giveaways. And I had a customer who basically wanted the equivalent of giveaways of what he spent with us in a year. And I thought it was unreasonable. I thought it was crazy.
I remember you telling me this.
So I went to my superiors in the office. I'm like, this guy's being ridiculous. I only have 25 of these things to give away. He wants all 25. And I was told by my big boss at the time, said, take care of the customer. Take care of the customer. Make sure he gets what he wants. We'll take care of you so you have it for your other customers. And lo and behold, I begrudgingly gave this customer what he wanted. Long story short, about 4 years down the line, when I started my business in the car industry, this customer funded my business. He was the first one to write a check to me. So
because you took care of him.
Yes, I did.
You took care of somebody in your network.
And the network, yes.
Give.
I had to ask my network.
Sure.
Incidentally, when I was building that business and I needed a car business, you need a lot of money. You need money to open any business. But in the car industry, then you need money to buy cars.
I was going to say, I think that's particularly capital intensive.
Yeah, and the money's separate. I mean, you have money to run the business, and then you have money for your inventory. You really can't touch your inventory money. You get loans and stuff like that, but you can't pay the bills out of your inventory money, or otherwise you're cannibalizing the business. So I asked. It was literally got from this person. he was a friend of a friend, but realized we had done business together, and he trusted me and wanted to be involved with it. But I was networking, telling the world what I needed. This is what I want. I'm looking for money for my business. And,
That is so
yeah,
cool.
they make money. They were making money too out of my company, so it was kind of cool.
That's very cool. So there are different types of networking. There's social networking, which was part of what I did when I came to the Philadelphia area and was trying to find people, just like other moms and stuff. So I ended up doing a lot of social networking with the people who,
I think of all different ways of social networking.
I mean, you've got,
your schools.
Yes. Well, that's basically, I did it at my kids'
Your college.
daycare.
If you have alumni groups, going back to the alumni events.
Absolutely. You guys all have something in common. You all went to the same school. You have great stories you can share about what dorms you lived in and stuff like that. So,
I have at least one person a week reaching out to me from Penn State saying, "Hey, fellow Penn State alumni, let's do financial services together."
I don't get as many from Drexel, but I do from time to time. And if somebody sends me a connection request that says, "Hey, go Dragons," I'm like, "Oh, okay, yes." That's the pattern.
Then there's business to business networking, where what we call traditional networking events. One of the things we didn't tell the audience.
What didn't we tell the audience that we're going to tell you?
We're going to tell you right now. We run events. I actually own 2 networking companies, and we're not talking about network marketing companies. We're talking about real live B2B networking companies. I have a company called netmixer.com, which is a nationwide directory of networking events around the country. I think we're in 53 different markets with that company. And I have another company that hasn't quite come back since COVID, but the ultimate networking event, where we were running up to 36 events per year for about 10 years up and down the East Coast of the United States. So I do have I do know a little bit about.
He knows a little bit about networking. He actually knows a lot about networking. So, but yeah, just straight business to business. Show up with your business cards, and just kind of canvas the room.
And you want an uncomfortable thing? Ashley and I do this on a regular basis.
We do.
We travel a lot, as a lot of you know. We're on the road a lot.
I'm so eager to hear that.
We go to networking events in other cities where we don't know anybody.
Is that weird?
It's exciting. It's
fun. It's cool. I mean, essentially that. So I think that's the kind of networking that freaks people out the most, because they're just like, oh my God, I don't want to go to a room full of people who want to do business, but they don't know why. And it just feels very vulnerable. But I think what's cool about it, if you're willing to put yourself in that position, you learn fast, and you start developing the muscle for networking, and you realize networking is really just having conversations with people about what their goals are, and to see if you are in a position to help them achieve that, or if you know somebody who's in a position to help them achieve
100%.
that. That's really all networking is. So it doesn't need to be smarmy and scary. Take the next one, please.
Did we talk about business networking? Was that what we just talked about?
We just talked about business networking.
Organizational networking. That's networking within your company. Networking with if you're in a company, could be working for a big corporation, could be working with a small company. It could be if you work at a college, church, whatever it is where you're working. Networking between departments. The most successful people I know in the corporate world know people in multiple departments within their organization. It really plays to, if you're the glue between departments, that's a home run. I mean, that's really will get you as far as you can get in corporate America. If you want a job in corporate America and you want to climb the corporate ladder, you better be networking. You better not just be showing up and collecting your paycheck. Absolutely.
And again, we had a group of women for our advanced conference who were like, hey, well, how do I get a promotion? What if it's in a different area of the organization? Well, you need to meet people in those other parts of the organization, which is exactly what we mean by organizational networking. So, but just getting known, just getting out there and saying, hey, I'm working on this, and I know that the company is trying to do this, and your department does this, and again, just getting to know people within your company. They're more likely to tap you when they need you, which is cool. And then there's industry networking, which was essentially what was happening most of the time at our 2 conferences. So the conferences that we ran were specifically for the utility industry, gas, power, and water. and people came from different companies all over North America to come together and learn from each other. And it was just really great because most of them didn't know each other. Most of them don't get out to do that type of networking very often. So it was really nice for them to just meet other people who have a similar, not only background in terms of the industry that they're in, but have the opportunity to get together and say, hey, we all work with this certain kind of company, which is cool.
And you challenge. We do a networking happy hour at each one of our events on the first day, and actually challenge the people at both events to meet other people. And that was industry within their industry. They all work for the utility companies, and they were able to network. They were able to share ideas. They were able to get together.
Yeah, I do that mostly for the people who come with a team, and I just kind of try to get them to split up a little bit. Like, guys, meet some other people. Don't just talk to.
There's a key thing. If you're out networking and you're going with colleagues to a event that's outside of or it's not in the four walls of your organization, split up, divide and conquer.
Yeah, either have. So I've done the wingman. Are we talking about this later, or are we talking? I can talk about it now. So I've gone to networking events with other people, and I started to help slide in for the intro, introduce my friend, and then I went on and talked to somebody else, and then I basically did the same thing because she was very uncomfortable meeting people for the first time.
Remind me when we get further along here.
Yeah.
I'll show you. I'll teach you a technique on how to slide in. Or not slide in. There's proper ways to slide in and not slide in.
There's an etiquette to sliding in.
And people don't know they do it. And people don't know they do it.
I just ran in. I'm a bull on a
you just wait a little. We'll wait. We'll come back around.
And then the other piece, of course, that we wanted to mention is social media, and I think it's
game changer.
Total
social
game changer.
Media
It makes it so much easier to do this. But again, to be able to build your network through people that you already know. We do this professionally through LinkedIn. We do this personally in Facebook and other IG.
I mean, that last week, one of my buddies that I went to high school with, he's on the West Coast now. He asked where to get a cheesesteak in King of Prussia. We happen to live 2 miles from King of Prussia. So I put some recommendations. We even went there for lunch the other day. I took a picture of the cheesesteak from there because I do love their.
They have a really good chicken
cheesesteaks over there.
That's good.
Anyway,
so when you're so we can talk about how important it is and how valuable it is to network, but really when we break it down into how to network. So here's what we do when we go out networking. That sounds like we're trick-or-treating.
It is trick-or-treating. It's better than trick-or-treating. You're building your network, and your network is your net worth. You wind up making money from your networking. I mean,
give me some candy.
Yeah, give me some candy.
All right. So the first thing,
remember that you can't chase two rabbits at once.
Can't chase two rabbits at once. You'll lose them both. You have to go. Yeah, I love that. We were watching Grant this morning. Anyway, so the first thing that I always say, right before we leave for a networking event, whether it's one that we are the hosts of, whether it's one that we're attending, I always ask Gus, I said, Gus, what's your goal for this event? What's your goal for attending this particular event? And just does that help you? Does that center sometimes you?
100%. It makes me think. There's been a couple of goals that might not seem normal. I've been doing this for a long time.
Goals.
Everybody has trouble remembering people's names at a networking event, wherever it is. They meet somebody. Hello, my name is Steve.
That's why I like having those little labels that you stick on.
But a couple years ago, I started working on remembering people's names. And though I am still not very good at it, I am much better at it than I was.
Yeah.
Another thing I do, I've had a problem with, I talk a lot. And I talk fast. I've become a better listener when I go to networking. I've learned to ask questions and get that. So, but we might be looking for, with a goal, it might be, I need to find someone who can give me insurance on an event.
Right.
I need to find someone, who knows a great mechanic for one of my Mercedes. I need to know, I need to find a jeweler, whatever it is. I need to find a software solution for something of this, of that for that.
Or, I mean, so for me, when I set my goal or have a goal for the event that I'm going to, sometimes it's just like, you know what? I just want to meet people I don't already know, or I want to start getting to know people who live in this particular area or something like that. So, but having a goal that you can just kind of set as a filter for your experience will help you actually be closer to achieving that goal by the time you finish your
Right.
networking
We're
event.
still on how to network.
Oh, no. So
know your elevator pitch.
yes. So when you say elevator pitch, what are we talking about? Like
Your 15-second, 30-second. What do you do?
Because inevitably somebody's going to say, so what do you do?
What do you do?
What do you do?
I create events.
Okay. What does that
What do you
mean?
mean?
Oh, you're an event planner.
No.
Yeah.
I create events that connect people, products, and ideas.
Ooh.
And we do that primarily for the utility industry. And I also create a women's empowerment event that we do for multiple industries.
Sounds like you've got your elevator pitch.
I do.
Fantastic.
And then they say, see, you're an event planner. I'm like, no, I create the event from
Right.
start to finish.
So, and it's okay for your elevator pitch to be something that actually like elicits a response, because then somebody's not just standing there going, right?
Yeah.
So the whole point of it is to have
What
it
do you do?
tell you what you do, but also give a little bit of an icebreaker, give them an opportunity to interact with you.
Here's one thing I don't do.
What don't you do?
I rarely ask for business.
I never ask for business.
I mean, if I see an obvious
I know.
connection,
Yeah.
like, hey, you know what, we should do business. I can call you tomorrow or something.
Yeah.
Send you a
I mean,
text,
yeah.
something,
You don't want to write then and there.
Ask, another
Question.
thing, ask questions. Ashley's favorite questions. So what's your goal?
I do ask that. I ask that of everybody.
You do. I love it, though.
So what's your goal? What are you looking to do?
And people,
What do you want to make happen? Because if people are in different places in their career, they're in different places in their business. Some of them are like, yeah, I just want to build my business up as much as possible, or hey, I need more clients.
I want to find a new job.
Yeah,
I
some
wanna
of
quit
them,
what I'm
some
doing.
of them are like, you know what, I'm really not happy with where one of the speakers from my conference last week, when I said, what's the big goal? And she's like, honestly, I can't wait to leave my company. And I was like, oh, wow, I would have absolutely never known that, because when she spoke somewhat glowingly of her company. So I was like, okay. So one of the things that I take on, be the connector. So
Hey, Ashley.
yes.
Did you meet Steve?
Exactly. Right. Or, you know, when I'm asking people what their goal is, I'll hear somebody say, well, I'm looking for a new physician. I'm like, okay. And then I'll like meet somebody who's a physician. I'm like, y'all should talk.
Yeah,
Like,
and the other thing you do with that is like you do this very well. Who can I introduce you to?
yes.
Who would you like to meet in the room?
Who would be your ideal customer? And I ask that question often too, because that helps me think in my head, like, okay, who do I know that's even remotely like what they're describing?
And at that point, you're no longer networking. You're the networker.
Right.
You're the guy, person, girl working the room. You're the one making this happen for other people. And
But
that makes you memorable.
I think it puts them at ease, because I know a lot of people are not natural networkers, or not like, oh, yay, this is great. I'm going to it always feels creepy to people, but it doesn't to me. So.
I am naturally shy, and people don't believe that about me, but I literally just have to step out and say, hi, I'm Gus. And it doesn't
come naturally.
It's easier now than it was in the
Uh-huh.
past, but I can easily be the guy sitting in the corner drinking, watching everything going on. I love that people watch. I can sit there and just watch everything happen.
But if you're networking, it really is it's a participation sport.
It is.
So
It
you
is.
really can't get anything out of it if you're just watching.
All right, next tip.
Smile. It makes you more approachable. This is all kind of funny. It is funny.
Yeah.
So just smile.
Smile.
What are you doing?
Shake hands. I'm going to demonstrate something.
You're going to demonstrate
Shake
something.
hands.
Yes.
Now, I'm just going to show right on this camera.
Go ahead.
This is my right chest.
A nice
You
firm
put your
handshake,
name tag.
please.
You put your name tag on your right chest, because then
No,
you.
it's over there.
No.
Oh
it's
yeah,
on
you're
the
right. It's over there. That way I have a straight line. So if I'm seeing
I know in some of the video it looks like it's my left, but it's just the camera's reversed here.
So my name tag always goes here. But right, when you're meeting somebody and you're shaking with the right hand, then you're not blocking your name badge so that somebody can say, oh, hello, Gus.
Yeah.
Hello, Gus.
So here will come to my tip on body language.
Okay, bring it. Okay, wait. Excuse me. Quick dip on the shake hands.
Yeah.
Pardon me. Have a real handshake. There's nothing worse than shaking somebody's hand when it's like super limp. That's just gross. And I don't want to hold it. I don't want to hold your hand. That's that's nasty. So like, I mean, and you're also like, don't break my hand because that would hurt. But like, give me a nice firm, like, hi, nice to meet you.
Yes.
Thank you. Please go on with the body language. Tell us about body language, Gus.
So if two people are standing, imagine these are people's feet.
Okay.
If two people are talking face to face to each other and their toes are pointed at each other, that's a closed conversation.
Okay.
And you're best not to interrupt that conversation.
So they're probably deep in conversation and engaged with each other and not really interested in having anybody else walk up to them right now.
100%.
The second one of them kind of starts to like
If one foot turns
swivel
out
the foot
or
out,
the shoulder turns out,
right, that's body
they're
language
open.
to say like, I'm kind of done talking to this guy.
And it can also happen with groups. I mean, you get 3 or 4 people that are talking in a group. If all their toes are facing in to the center, let them talk, don't butt in. But if somebody's kind of leaning out, like turning out like this, and they're looking to invite other people into their conversation, they don't even know they're doing it. That's the best part.
It is really kind of cool.
They don't know they're doing it, but it's something that we've studied and recognized over the.
And I don't always pay attention, and sometimes I just barrel in.
You do sometimes.
I do. I'm so bad. If I'm in a
Now,
hurry,
I will say
I want
this.
to hurry up. I need to.
I will say this: if it's my event,
Yeah.
and I'm the guy running the event,
Yeah.
sometimes I'll barge in. But I think I have more carte blanche to do that.
No, I think you do too.
I have
I just assume I have carte blanche and I do it
right.
Anyway.
It's so funny.
So the next tip we have on how to network is let people know what you're looking for. I have, as I said, one of the questions that I ask in my Ask Questions, is what's your big goal, or what are you looking to do, or who would be a great contact for you? Tell people what you're actually looking for, and you're so much more likely to find it. This isn't even as like woo-woo is a vision board, and I'm a total believer in the vision board. This is really saying like, I'm specifically looking for professionals in the oil, gas, and electric industries. Like that's what I'm looking for.
And one of the things I'm looking for right now, I'm looking to acquire another company. I'm looking to bring in another business to our portfolio.
But if you don't put it out there, they're never going to know. Yeah. They're not going to know by your business card that, oh, I bet he'd be interested in this.
I'm looking for a sales rep.
So you got to say, you just got to put it out there. This is what I'm looking for. And that's where the connection that actually is a tool that helps not only you, but it also gives other people an opportunity to help you. And that, that's good networking. And then what we almost always ask as we're in our networking.
What can I do for you? How can I help you? How can I assist you? What do you need?
Right. So
what do you need? And funny people are $1 million. Great. Let's find you $1 million. Let's see how we can find you $1 million.
I'll take a small percentage. Yeah. But yeah, I'd ask people, what can I just, and that's a true way of, again, they don't feel like you are trying to get their sale. What can I do for you? Like, what are you looking for? How can I help you? It's a good place to start. So what else do we have here?
Exercise. Here's an exercise for everybody. Create a list of 5 goals you might have in a networking opportunity.
5 goals you might have.
So one of those goals might be to meet 5 new people.
Perfect.
One of those goals.
That can be a goal that you have before you go to a networking event.
Yeah, I'm looking for a new opportunity. Let's see who I can meet. I'm looking for customer XYZ. My customer looks, feels, smells like this.
Right. I'm looking for somebody who works at a company, and so a lot of times I'll meet people who are looking for jobs, and I'll say, well, what are the top 5 companies that you are targeting? And they're like, what do you mean? Right. I'm like, dude, think about it and get back to me, because then I don't know what they do, But then I can say, oh, I know somebody who works at one of the 5 companies that you're talking about. I can at least connect you to on LinkedIn.
I'm gonna add this.
Okay.
I'm gonna get a little deep here. You got one life.
Yeah.
You got one chance to go through this life and do things. Networking in all the forms that are out there is one of the hacks in life. It's one of the ways to get what you want and get what you need.
And get it faster.
Yes.
Right.
Condense time. You know, networking will help you condense time.
So create a list, 5 goals you might have at a networking opportunity.
Yes.
I like that. So let's face it.
Yeah.
If networking were super easy, we'd all do it and there would never be any kind of weirdness around it. But there is a little weirdness around it because people make assumptions and they're maybe not as confident, maybe not as comfortable in their own skin. So there are some challenges to networking. And let's see, one of them is overcoming shyness. Have we accomplished that?
Well, I told you I'm naturally shy. People don't believe that. I am naturally shy. Well, here's a story. Here's a story.
I'm saying hi to Alex, by the way.
Hey, Alex, good to see you. Here's a story. In school, when you had a class project and you had to present it to the class, I always volunteered to do it first because I could not handle being randomly called on. I'd be the first person to raise. Oh, yeah, it's me. I'm going to do it first.
Send me up now.
Send me up now.
It
was the randomness of not just being called and I wouldn't be prepared. If I was going first and it was tomorrow morning at 8 a.m., I knew when my time was. I wasn't.
You're such a smarty.
No, I don't call it smart. I was scared to death.
I mean, when you think about it, there's enough uncertainty in life that if you have the opportunity to just stick something in the calendar and just say, okay, I know I'm going first, then you don't have to have that kind of hanging over you, which is cool.
All right.
So good for you. So we also have some icebreakers.
And you can use this. This is a technique I learned 30 years ago, and you can use this
it still works
wherever you are. It's an acronym called FORM. It stands for Family, Occupation, Recreation, and Money. You can strike up a conversation with anyone on those 4 topics. You're standing in line at the grocery store,
Some of us still do that.
Standing in line any place. Standing in line any place. You're at the amusement park. And the person in front of you has 2 little kids there. Like, oh, do you have just the 2 kids?
Family.
That's family.
Well, what do you do?
What do you do?
I've asked that where I find myself in a situation where I'm standing with somebody like, oh, what do you do for work? Like, just ask.
We recently found out that somebody we know that's a manager at one of our favorite restaurants, his wife is in our industry. She's in the utility industry. It's kind of fascinating. Huh? We start talking like,
my wife works for blah blah blah. I'm like, really?
All right. No, recreation.
Yes.
What do you do? What do you do when you're not working? What do you do when you're not shopping? What do you do when you're not standing in line at an amusement park? Right. And then money. The last thing. Money. People are afraid of the money question. But hey, are you making as much money as you really want to make? What
That's a nice way of asking that without asking it.
Yeah, without asking it.
Creepy.
What would it take you to get to the next level in your career? How can I help? Whatever that is.
Yeah, absolutely. So then the other thing to do is to find the right place to network. Sometimes we find people who come to a business networking event. They have a certain expectation in their head, like they're going to walk out with 10 customers, which I think is kind of, anyway, maybe change the expectation. Really what you want to do when you come to a networking event, you're not there to get business. You're there to meet people. You're there to meet people who may be able to connect you with their network to help you get those customers. And they're there to do the same with you. So just kind of understand what that is, and then make sure you're putting yourself in the right room. If you are, I would definitely say if your profession has a trade organization or a trade association, that's probably a great place to start, because then you can meet other people who do what you do. You can ask them, hey, where do you go networking? I also, as Gus mentioned earlier, alumni associations are a terrific place, and most of them have terrific, have very strong networks, especially in a location if you're still in the city or area where you went to school. But just keep your eyes open. Ask people what are some other networking opportunities that you know about. Yeah.
So, another thing you do, network chat. How do you stand out from the crowd?
Ooh.
Ashley always dresses impeccably, and you have big pins.
Except for right now.
You're working now. You're working after hours.
Thanks.
If you're a guy, be the best dressed person in the room.
Yes. And wear something interesting like a funky tie or just something that gives people an opportunity to kind of look at it and like, oh, she's not wearing the regular sort of uniform, if you will, like spice it up a little bit, have something a little different. So we've got some rock star moves that we're going to share with you. One of them is ask engaging questions. There's nothing worse than going to a networking event and have somebody like, oh, so what do you do? I mean, it's like, what do you do? And be interested.
My favorite engaging question.
Oh, I love this one. This is good.
So I get real serious with people. I say, okay, you come into life-altering money. Let's just say I use the money at half $1 billion, $500 million.
That would alter my life.
You can spend $500 million. You shouldn't spend $500 million. You come in $500 million. What are you going to do? And the first answer is almost always the same.
Travel
the world. Things have been great. I'm going to tell you right now and I'll say that's awesome. That's amazing. I encourage you to do that. Ashley and I travel a lot. Like half the year we're on the road.
Yeah, but not with that kind of budget.
No, but still, after you go to one hotel or one destination or one tent or one backward, sooner 18 months, 24 months into it, it's going to get a little stale. You're going to want something else. And then I go deeper. So now what do you do? And almost every time they start thinking, and I'd really like to help. I'd really like to save I'd really like to create an organization that gives back. I really want to make this a better place. That's the real goal. That's an engaging question.
And then we all want to make a difference. We all want to help somebody.
And then we go next level and say, why are you not doing that right now? Why are you not stepping up to that charity part of your life, that charitable part of your life? In fact, at the event last week, I challenged a woman because I asked that question, and she came out first with, I'm going to create an organization that gives money back to those less fortunate. And we saw her dove down. I said, write a check for $25 right now to somebody who's less fortunate. Write a check to a charity. She was like, but that's actively doing what you say you're going to do.
Right. Instead of waiting for...
That's an engaging question.
Yeah, it's a very engaging question. So you can steal that one. One of the things that I find happens to me when I go to networking events is I get everybody's business card and then I forget to follow through or follow up. So the first thing is, after you've had this opportunity, is to just reach out to them again. Hit them up on LinkedIn, send them an email, send them a text. Hey, it was great to meet you at the event. I look forward to further conversations, or I hope I can help you find the person that you need for marketing or whatever. Whatever it is that you took from their conversation, just follow up really quickly because it shows that you care. And it also shows that you do take care of things pretty quickly.
And following up, and this is different, follow through. Do what you say you're going to be. Do what you say you're going to do. I didn't say it right. Follow through. Do what you say you're going to do. If you're going to connect someone to someone else, follow through and make that connection happen. If you promise to send them whatever it is, follow through and send them whatever it is you're going to send them. Take care of that.
Absolutely. So one of the things you can do is send them a text to just say, hey, it was great to meet you.
Go deep on this. This is a killer.
This is
the killer move.
This is the killer move is to video. Do a video not a video text. I guess it's sort of a video. No. Yeah.
Hey, Ashley.
Pick up your phone.
Gus, it was so cool to meet you last night. Let me know if I can do anything else for you. Thank you.
Yeah. Nobody else is doing it. It's like, and then you're immediately putting the face back to the name and just kind of saying, hey, it was cool to meet you. Hope we can meet up again. I look forward to helping you achieve your goal. That took what, 10 seconds?
Next thing, stay connected.
Yes.
Connect with them on Instagram. Connect with them on TikTok, on LinkedIn, on Facebook, whatever their modem is. They like to connect back. Ask them how is it best to contact you.
Yes. If they're big on one platform and never look at another, hop on the one that they're using more.
Fewer and fewer people are using email.
Absolutely, because we get so many of them.
Yeah.
Send relevant content. There are so many times where I meet people who are talking about a particular business problem that they're focusing, or even a personal challenge that they're facing. Well, if I come across an article about it, it takes me nothing, virtually 30 seconds maybe, to just save the link and then send it to them either in LinkedIn Messenger or some other platform. But just say, hey, it's so funny. We were talking about this the other day. Here's an article that might be of interest to you. Yeah. Again, it just shows that you're connecting, and it shows that you're there to help, not to be overbearing and stuff.
And a final rock star move you can do is send a gift.
Yes.
Nobody's doing that. Gary Vee talked about that. He sent a jersey to some guy who bought a couple bottles of wine. He sent him a really expensive player jersey. And the guy never contacted Gary Vee.
He never thanked him.
He never thanked him. Never came back.
You sent me that jersey. That was cool of you.
Yeah. And never nothing. And Gary was wow. But then, about a year and a half later, a guy put an order in for 40 cases of wine. And Gary reached out to the guy, why'd you put the order in? He goes, you sent my buddy a T-shirt. Or you sent my buddy a jersey.
So it wasn't even the same guy.
Yeah, it wasn't
even
the same guy. You sent my buddy a jersey.
From his network.
Yes.
Okay.
A cool story.
No, that's a very cool story. So who do you need to meet? Stop for a second and just think about it. Who do you need to meet right now? Is it somebody to help you run your business? Is it somebody who can help run your household so that you can spend more time on your business? Is it somebody that you need as clients? Do you need more clients?
I meet a lot of younger entrepreneurs that are always looking for money. Money is rarely the answer. Contacts are the answer. Now, in fact, we were watching Undercover Billionaire last week. I don't think you missed. I think you missed this part.
What I miss?
When Grant Cardone was saying, "I don't need money. I need connections. I need contacts. I need a network that can provide me with everything I need to grow this goal that I have of creating a $5 million company in 90 days. I need a network. I don't need money."
He's right.
Money's worthless.
He's right.
Think about what you need to grow your life, accomplish your goals, accomplish your dreams. Who do you need in your life? And start building a network that will get you there. You reached out to me. Now, speaking of networking.
Yeah, who? Somebody I know.
You know him, but you don't know him.
Okay.
The guy who played Vito in The Sopranos.
Really?
Yeah, he reached out to me this morning.
That's so cool. Why didn't you say anything?
Joe, I think his name's Joe, I forget his last name, Joe something.
Cool.
Yeah, isn't that cool?
It's so funny because we were just talking about The Sopranos the other night.
Yeah, well, he reached out. I guess he heard me talking about it. He reached out to me.
There you go.
Wanted to connect on Facebook.
Somebody knows him and connect.
Yeah, we have a couple friends.
That's how this works, right?
We have a couple friends in mutual common. Anyway,
yeah, cool.
We're gonna roll. Take off for the night. Thank you for giving us your time.
Thanks for joining us.
We have a new podcast out called Advance Her. Check it out on all the major networks. We're on Apple, Google, YouTube, and Twitch, I believe. And search Advance Her or Gus and Ashley or Ashley and Gus, and you'll find us on there.
And thanks for hanging out with us today. It's been a while since we've gone live, so thanks for saying hi.
Yes. Thank you.
Have a good one. All right.